we're going to do a few more examples of solving two-step inequalities. These ones aren't story problems, they're just regular examples. So, one important thing to remember, which we discussed last section, is if at any point in the solving inequality process, if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you switch the inequality sign. You always flip it if you multiply or divide both sides of the equation by a negative number. Okay, so we'll keep that in mind as we're solving these. Example 2 says, solve each inequality, graph your solution. So we're going to have to remember to graph our solutions on a number line. So right now I have x over negative 4 minus 6 is greater than or equal to negative 5. So you kind of just pretend like it's an equation. If this were an equal sign, a two-step equation, I would add 6 to both sides first, because minus 6 plus 6, that equals 0. So I'm just left with x over negative 4 is greater than or equal to negative 5 plus 6 is 1. Now notice I didn't flip the sign because I added and subtracted. Adding and subtracting, you never flip the sign. Now I need to get the x by itself. Right now x is being divided by negative 4. To undo division, I multiply by negative 4. Now, little sirens should be going off in your head because you just multiplied by a negative number. Whenever we do that, we need to flip the sign. So that cancels out. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is just 1. So now it's like 1 times x, which is x. Flip your sign. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. So I have x is less than or equal to negative 4. The x is by itself. My inequality is solved. Now let's graph this. I'm going to put negative 4 in the middle, put some numbers around it, closed circle since it's less than or equal to, and then I want all the x's that are smaller than negative 4. So I'm going to shade to left. All these, as you go left on the number line, your numbers get smaller. Okay. Next, I have 4x plus 1 is greater than 1. Always start with your addition and subtraction when you're solving equations. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. I'm trying to get this x by itself. So I had to get rid of that 1. So I'm left with 4x is greater than 1 minus 1 is 0. Now I have multiplication, so I'm going to divide both sides by 4. I'm not going to flip the sign because I'm dividing by a positive number, not a negative number. So that's gone. X is greater than 0 divided by 4 is 0. 0 divided by anything except for 0 is 0. So x is greater than 0. Now it's solved. So let's draw our graph. Put 0, negative 1, positive 1. Open circle because it's a greater than. If it were greater than or equal to, it would be closed, but it's open. Now x, I want all the x's that are bigger than 0. So I want to shade this way. As I go right on my number line, the numbers get bigger. Okay, moving on. Part C, I have 7 minus n is less than or equal to 5n minus 5. Okay, so it looks like I have variables on both sides, but that's okay. We know how to solve those equations, therefore we can solve these inequalities. I want to get all the variables on one side and all of the constants on the other. So I'm going to start by getting all my variables on one side. So I'm going to try to get my n's to be over here. Right now I have minus n, so I'm going to add n to both sides. So I have 7 is less than or equal to 5n plus 1n is 6n. Then I leave the minus 5 alone because I haven't done anything with the constants yet. Okay, next I'm going to get the constants on one side. So I have my variables on the right. Now I'm going to add 5 to both sides to get the constants on the left. Negative 5 plus 5, gone. 7 plus 5 is 12. So I have 12 is less than or equal to 6n. I'm almost done. I almost have n by itself, but it's still being multiplied by 6. So I need to divide by 6 to undo that. Not flipping the sign because I'm dividing by a positive. 12 divided by 6 is 2. less than or equal to n. So that is my solution. I'm going to graph it. 2, 1, 2, 3, closed circle on 2. And notice the variable comes second, so my inequality sign isn't going to point in the direction that I'm shading. It's actually going to be the opposite way. 2 is smaller, or less than all my other answers that I'm shading. Okay, one more example. 5y plus 2 is less than y plus 34. Let's get all the variables on one side again. I'm going to get my variables on the left side this time, because why not? You can choose any side, though. So y minus y is 0. 5y minus y is 4y plus 2 less than 34. Now let's get the constants to be over here. So subtract 2 from both sides. 4y is less than 32. Divide both sides by 4. Not flipping my sign. Y is less than 8. Okay, I've got the y by itself. Let's graph it. 8 goes in the middle. 7, 8, 9. Open circle because of the inequality sign. Oops. So I want all the y's that are less than 8. So less than is to the left. And there we have it.